Happy holidays and welcome to the short report for December 2017. Now there's a lot going on in the real estate industry and I want to take just a few minutes of your time to explain some of the key highlights. I thought what I would do is first talk about some of the big issues facing the industry and then I'll drill it down to what is happening here in our local real estate market. Now I've gotten dozens of phone calls lately on what is going to happen if the proposed tax changes actually get approval in the Senate and the House. And so first off, let me explain the two major proposed changes. The first and most talked about change is the proposed lowering of the limit on mortgage interest deductions from $1 million to $500,000. I thought what I would do is break this down into layman terms and in terms of our local market, what the effect of that would be. So in Seattle, the median closed sales price is $741,000. So if we assume that the average down payment is 20%, which is pretty typical, that means that the buyer would be financing $592,800. So again, if we assume an interest rate of 4%, we're talking about $3,712 of interest. And if we multiply that by the tax rate of 30%, we can easily calculate that for a medium priced home, there's a $1,113 benefit to the buyer that won't be there under the new proposal. Now on the east side, the numbers look like this. Median home price is $851,000, and with the same assumptions we made in Seattle, the total finance would be $680,000. So if we take that $180,000 difference between the $500,000 write-off times the 4% interest rate, well, that makes the total benefit to the buyer right now a difference of $2,160. So for the Seattle's area specifically, the actual amount of money that home buyers will save or will be paying in more in taxes essentially is going to be between $93 and $180 per month. So the question is, do you think that people are going to put off buying because of this? Well, I really don't think so. For one, it's going to be still much more expensive to rent over the long term. And two, if you just factor the average appreciation of a home, say 3% on $741,000, that's more than $22,000 in annual appreciation. The case is still compelling to buy, so I really don't think this proposal will have much in effect. And for the people who have higher mortgage balances, like a lot of us do around this area, remember that only 3% of the mortgages in the United States are actually above $500,000. So that's an interesting stat. So no, I don't think there's going to be much effect at all, if any. However, there is another proposed change that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about that could have a much more profound impact. And that is the change in rules around capital gains. Now today, when you sell a home, you have a capital gain. If you do, you can take the first $250,000 for an individual and $500,000 for a married couple tax-free as long as you live in the home 2 out of the last 5 years. The new proposal changes that time frame so that you have to own the home for 5 out of the last 8 years. Now imagine that you're a 30-something who just bought a home in 2014 for say $500,000 and it has gone up about 40%. That makes your gain about $200,000, right? So under the proposal, if you wanted to sell today and take the $200,000 and put down on a new home, you actually would have to pay tax on the $200,000, which would likely be a tax rate of 20%, leaving you only $160,000 to actually put down after you paid your taxes. In essence, this is going to lower the amount you can afford to buy on your upgrade. So this may incent people, some people that have capital gains, to just turn them into rentals, which would exacerbate our lower inventory, worsening the situation. At least that's here in Seattle. Bottom line is there are other tax implications with these new proposals, and you should be talking to your accountant about the potential impacts, as well as your real estate agent. Of course, I'm always here as a resource for you should you have any specific questions. Now on to the numbers for the month. Inventory actually dipped again this month. In Seattle, our inventory was down 18% from last November, while the median closed sale price showed an increase of a whopping 21%. So to put that in perspective, from a monthly payment standpoint, if you bought a home this year versus last year, you're actually paying 23% more as far as your monthly payment, even though your interest rate went down about 0.2%. The east side fell to 0.9 months supply, that's down 10%, and the prices jumped 12%, while the house payment I was just talking about was up just over 14%. The fact is that we are still under severe housing pressure, and many people who want to buy are still seeing multiple offers in very competitive environment. So what are my projections for 2018? Well, Barring any major catastrophes, with lower inventory and still lower interest rates, prices are going to continue to go up. The rate at which they're going to go up, well, no one knows, but my guess is somewhere between 5 and 20%. But again, no one has a crystal ball. The key thing for you, if you're a buyer or seller, is that you need someone who has a lot of experience to help you navigate the market. And whether you're buying, selling, or simply need advice, I'm here for you as your trusted real estate consultant. So that's it for this month's short report. I hope you have enjoyed the information, and I look forward to seeing you next month in the new year.